Welcome into the Jerome McGinley Arena for the Calgary Shamrocks and the St. Albert Crude. Here tonight, the Shamrocks coming off a 13-12 loss earlier today to the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels and are into St. Albert to take on the Crude. And off the transition, a quick shot by the Shamrocks. It's picked back up and Wedman will head out for the Crude up the near side boards. The Crude will take possession. Here's Frey with the ball. Right side, he feeds inside. Big stop there as the ball bounces into the corner and is picked up by the Shamrocks. And they are met by a double on the near side boards. And the ball goes loose and it's picked back up by Frey. And he'll wait for the Crude offense to hit the floor. Crude will possess. Ball goes up high. Swung to the right side to Harris. Harris spins back. Looks to swing the ball, nothing there. Now he'll try to swing it. It gets knocked down by a good stick there by the Shamrocks. The ball bounces out to center. And the 30-second shot clock will go, and the Shamrocks will gain possession. Here's Janicek down low. Ball will come up the right side. Ball swung. That's Dick now in the corner with the ball. He goes back up high. Ball goes from top to shooter. Shamrocks looking to get a shot here. The shot clock winding down. They had a miss reset or a faulty reset. They'll count that down and it'll be Crude ball. Here's Anderson for the Crude. Gets the ball up to Stenson. Stenson will hit Frey off the bench and he'll go down the far wall. Frey gets checked down in behind the Shamrock net. And the ball's picked up and fired out to center, and the ball will go loose down the floor, back into the Crude crease, and that's picked back up, and the Crude will regain possession. Here's Frey again with the ball. He'll wait for the pick. Nothing's there, and he'll swing the ball up top. Here's Knowlton. Knowlton works his way in, takes a bounce shot. That goes wide. Ball goes back up top. Another stop there, and the ball goes into the corner. They battle for it. The ball will be picked up by the Shamrocks. And carried out here. Ball in the near wall. Comes up top. Ball swung over to the right side. It's a shot that goes off, just glances off the goaltender and will bounce out to center. Ball's picked back up by the Shamrocks. They'll get a reset. Play's blown dead here. Looks like we got some sort of minor interference call, moving pick. And we'll go back up the floor for the Crude with the ball. Here's Slobnik. The right side, he works his way underneath. Stop there by Bjarnson. The ball bounces back out to Frey, who swings it over to the left side. That ball will just harmlessly bounce into the crease to Bjarnson. He'll pick it up and move the ball up the floor, where the Shamrocks will carry it to center. 0-0, the score remains here with 16 minutes to go in the first period. Shots 4-1 for the Crude. Shamrocks swing the ball. Couple of cutters go through, and then the ball's forced inside. The ball's going to get knocked down. The Crude will pick it back up and head out in transition. Here's Wedman. He takes a shot in transition. Another good stick by the Shamrocks. They'll knock the ball down. It'll go off, out of play, and it'll be Crude ball. Here's Knowlton. He looks inside. That ball goes wayward into the boards on the far side, and it's picked back up in transition. The Shamrocks will look ahead. Breakaway here for the Shamrocks. That ball gets sent wide. Be a loose ball here. Shamrocks will pick it back up and set back up on offense. Here's Fletcher. Fletcher swings the ball over. The Janicek ends up with it inside. Ball bounces off the glass. It'll be a 30-second shot clock violation, and the Crude will regain possession. Here's Schaff. He'll flip back up for Frey. Frey on the right side. Looks, surveys. He'll roll back down the right side into the corner. Spins off another check. Tries to flip inside, nobody there. And here come the Shamrocks. Back in transition. We've seen the Shamrocks try to go out and transition a bit here. They'll slow it down. And start up another O possession. Here's Dick. Dick will swing it over to the right side. Ball comes up top. Looking to shoot. Shot's not there. Ball comes in, ends up getting shot from the left side. That's handled again, and here's Wedman on a 2-on-1. Makes a nice pass inside. They're going to call them the Crude for a crease violation. It'll be Shamrock ball. Here the Shamrocks come back up floor. That's Kleisinger with the ball. He'll spin off a check. Cuts inside. Big stop there. Another stop, and the Crude will grab the loose ball and go out and transition again. Ball on the near boards. That's Tucker Nolsky, who will flip to Knowlton. Knowlton will swing back up top to Stenson. Stenson gets it over to the lefties. Back up to Knowlton. He takes a sidearm. That goes wide. Ball goes into the corner. And they'll battle for it. Shot clock winding down. They reset the clock. So they're going to continue to battle for the ball here. And the Shamrocks come up with it. And that's Gorst with the ball. He gets it over to the righties. That ball is swung over. Dick feeds inside. That ball goes loose. They battle for it, and the ball's picked up by McBride. The Crude captain will head up north over center. And he'll hit Schaff. Schaff gets it up top to Slobnik. Slobnik goes up top, back to the lefties, and that shot's going to be taken down low. That's handled by Bjarnson. And they're going to call, it looks like maybe back in. And it's going to be Shamrock's ball. And that's Miller with the ball. He falls down, and they're going to call a penalty. I think it's because he was on the ground and there was a slash committed by the Crude player. The Shamrocks will go 6-on-5 here with Bjarnson out. Behind the back pass, that goes astray into the corner. Picked back up by the Shamrocks. Ball up top. Shot coming. That goes wide. They'll blow it dead, and the Shamrocks will go to the power play. 11:41 to go here in the first period. We remain scoreless. The Crude currently sitting at 1-2, taking on the Shamrocks, who also sit at 1-2 off of their overtime loss earlier today to the Rebels. And the Shamrocks power play will get set here. And that's Dobbin up top with it. Shamrocks will look to set up here. Seal up top. Nothing there. Shot from the right shooter. That goes off of a Crude defender, and it will be a Shamrock ball. And Janisic will get it back up top to Dobbin. Dobbin over to Miller. Miller back up top to Dobbin. Janicic, Dobbin. Inside to Miller, good look. Good slip pick there on the inside. He gets stopped, and the ball will bounce out to center, and Janicic will gather. They'll get a fresh 30. Good work there by the Shamrocks power play to regain possession and get a fresh 30 here on the power. Shamrocks feed inside Janicic. That shot goes off glass. Miller back up top to Dobbin. Dobbin. That shot goes wide again. And Dobbin will get it to Janicic. Janicic swings it to Miller. That shot goes up off of a Crude player again. Looked like it hit a white helmet. And the Shamrocks will maintain possession here. And then that's Dick to Miller. Miller up top to Dobbin. Dobbin over. Dobbin gets it back up top. Nice seam pass down low. Back down low to the far crease. Dobbin will shoot sort of a 2 o'clocker that goes wide. And they have 10 seconds left on the shot clock to the Shamrocks. Nice swing pass from shooter to crease, and that is buried. That's Miller with the pass down to Fletcher, who makes no mistake on the quick stick. And it's 1-0 Shamrocks with 10 minutes to go in the first period. That was tough on the Crude penalty kill. It just couldn't quite get possession there, and the Shamrocks got a few different resets and eventually connected on the cross floor pass from top to crease, and they made no mistake. Fletcher with the goal, and it's 1-0 on a beauty pass by Miller. Here the Shamrocks off the draw. They look to head up floor with the 1-0 lead. They'll get the ball low. And that ball comes up top off of the left shooter. That shot by Miller gets handled, and the Crude will head up floor here. That's Regan Walker. Sherwood Park product will come up the floor. He waits. He hits Slobnik on the right side. He spins back. He hits Frey, who swings it over to Stenson. The shot gets picked up by Slobnik and thrown wide. The ball gets thrown and bounced back out to center, where the 30-second will expire and the Shamrocks will claim possession. Here's the Shamrocks looking to go back to work offensively. Janicic with the shot. That goes into the stick of the Crude netminder, and we will head back up floor with the Crude having possession. Here's Schaff. And Schaff gets it to Frey. Frey swings it over to the left side. That goes off Knowlton's stick over to Slobnik. That shot gets taken and handled by Bjarnson. And Gorst will sit back up floor for the Shamrocks. And Janicic will get the ball low. That's Fletcher up top. Dobbin goes to Dick. Dick back up to Janicic. Dobbin gets crushed inside. He gets back up. And Fletcher will take a sub shot. That goes wide. Ball's picked back up, but the shot clock had expired, and it's going to be Crude ball. And here's Nolsky up over center. He gets it to Harris, who will slowly come back up over center. He tries to cut inside, but that ball's too tall for the tall offensive righty. But there's going to be a delayed call here on the Shamrocks. Excuse me, on the Crude. It looks like it's going to be a cross check. And the Shamrocks will return to the power play. On the loose ball, they get Harris for a cross check, and the Shamrocks will go back to the man advantage, up 1-0, 7:31 to go here in the first period. shots now, 8-7 for the Shamrocks. And here's Dobbin to begin the power play for the Rocks. That's Miller back up to Dobbin. Dobbin, Janicic, Fletcher. Dobbin up top. Janicic swings it over to Miller. Miller back down to Fletcher on the far right crease. That ball ends up back with Miller, and he takes the shot. That's handled by the Crude netminder, and the ball will come back up top. That's Fletcher down low. Back up top to Dobbin. Janicic swings it over to Dick. Dick takes a shot. That's handled again. A lot of shots right now taken by the Shamrocks in the Crude goaltenders midsection. Got to think that they'll want to shore up their shooting here. Usually a pretty precise power play. And here's the Crude back up, trying to kill. That's Schaff with the ball in the corner. And now the Shamrocks will gain possession with about 45 seconds remaining on the power. And Janicic will come up top here for the Shamrocks on the power. He regains possession here. Ball sent inside to Fletcher. That doesn't connect. Ball goes out to the far boards, picked up by Janicic, and Miller just sort of floats it inside. That ball's picked off by Nolsky, and he'll head back out to try and kill the remaining 15 seconds of this man short. And Nolsky will just be content here to hold on to it as the Crude get back even here. And Knowlton will grab it up high, and the Crude will try to get a shot here with only 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Knowlton sends a long sidearm shot into the goaltender Bjarnson, and the Shamrocks will head back up floor. Here's Dobbin. He swings the ball over, and the ball ends up back over to the right side. There's Janicic. Janicic up top. He sends it inside to Dobbin. He fakes, and he scores on the short side. A nice reach-around shot inside. A nice cut off ball. Dobbin finds the net there, and it's 2-0 Shamrocks. So we sit 2-0 Shamrocks here with 4:45 to go in the first period. And the Shamrocks win another face-off. That's been another area here where the Shamrocks have really taken it to the Crude is off of face-offs. They've gotten a lot of extra possessions here off of shot clock, resets, and face-offs. Here are the Crude, and Anderson will grab the ball, flip it to Schaff, and Schaff will get the ball up top to Slobnik. Slobnik on the right shooter. He gets it up top here to Knowlton. Knowlton will swing down to Stenson, who tucks and tries to go underneath. Doesn't see anything. He'll get the ball back up top. Schaff takes a shot. He was bothered there by the Shamrock defender, and the ball will go aimlessly behind the net, and the Shamrocks will gain possession. And Moen will get the ball, and now it's Janicic. Janicic hits a wide open McLean in front. And the Shamrocks will take a 3-0 lead here with 3:48 to go in the first period. A little bit of a breakdown there in transition. It looked like the Crude just didn't get their D set there, and McLean was able to just park himself out in front, grab the ball, and bury past Peck for a 3-0 Shamrock lead. Another face-off win there by the Shamrocks. That's O'Dwyer, who's really found success here in the first period off of draws. been a big advantage for the Shamrocks. The ball's picked back up over center. This is the Crude breakaway. Big stop by Bjarnson. Big stop by Bjarnson as he takes Drader's look there away, and the Shamrocks will look to set the offense up. And that's Dick. Dick to Say. Say will go over to Janasek. Janasek down. Down low. Oh, and a big hit there inside on the cutter. Believe that was Say trying to slip inside there. The Crew take the D, take that away, and Anderson will head back over center, get the ball to Frey, and Frey will pass it over to Schaff. Schaff swings it over to the left side. That's number 19 there for the Crude, Kerr. Kerr tries to roll off of his check. That ball is stopped again by Bjarnson. And the Shamrock captain, Gorst, will come back over center, and the Shamrocks get another look in transition, but that goes wide. Ball bounces to center, and that ball is picked up by Dobbin. About 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Nice little hop inside by Gorst. His sidearm shot will get handled by Peck. And he gets the ball over to, I want to say that's Kerr. Yeah, that's Kerr. Who looks like he's trying to go 1-on-3 here. That doesn't work. He flips inside to a Shamrock defender, and that's Dobbin. Dobbin in transition. Tries to go far side. That doesn't find net. And the ball will get collected by Drader. Drader gets it to Schaff. And the shifty ready will head down the wall here. And he's checked pretty viciously by Kleisinger down the wall, and it'll end up in a penalty. And it'll be the Crude's first power play here with 1:27 to go in the first period. 3-0 the Shamrocks lead. And the Crude will look to get on the board here and get back into this game. Thanks everyone for joining us here today, of course. Tonight, I should say. You got the 1-2 Crude and the 1-2 Shamrocks looking to get to 500 here tonight. 3-0 Shamrocks, 1:20 to go here in the first period. Here's the Crude power play. Knowlton up top to Frey. He surveys. He tries to get over to Stenson. The ball bounces into the boards. That goes off glass, and here's Kleisinger. Kleisinger will engage Frey in transition. He tries to take a shot. That shot is off of Peck. And the ball will bounce over to center, and that's Kerr, who will come down the left side. And Kerr will flip back up top to Frey. Frey. And he'll go to the left shooter, Stenson. Stenson down low to Kerr. Stenson up high to Frey. Frey shoots. That's stopped by Bjarnson. And here's Gorst out over center for the Shamrocks. And they'll look to kill these last 20 seconds of their shot clock and most of this remaining of the first period here. About 23 seconds here to go in the first period. Shamrocks will hold the ball high. They'll be content here, likely to just flip down into the corner, which they will. And the Crude will have about 10 seconds to go here in the first period, and then they may call a timeout, and they do. It'll be a Crude timeout with about 9 seconds to go in the first period. Shamrocks 3, Crude nothing, as the Crude will resume their power play in just a moment. Hey, not bad. So the Crude will have to start inside their own zone here with 9.5 seconds to go in the first period. And they'll run the ball up. That's going to be Knowlton. Knowlton gets the ball to Harris. Harris down low to Frey. He goes in behind the net. Frey over to a wide open Knowlton, who has a wide open cage to deposit into. And he does not miss on that opportunity. And the Crude make it 3-1 right before the buzzer. And they get a big goal here as they head into the intermission. Shamrocks 3, Crude 1. The draw will be a formality as they will likely not even pull. They'll just set, or they'll probably just blow this in, yeah. They'll run the rest of the period out. And that will conclude the first period here from Jerome McGinley Arena. It is the Shamrocks 3, Crude 1 here, and we can't wait for you to get back here for the second period. Welcome back into the Jerome McGinley Arena here in St. Albert, where the Shamrocks lead the Crude 3-1. The Crude getting a late 6-on-5 or power play goal. Great play. Went from behind the net out front, and that's where we sit right now. 3-1. Calgary leads St. Albert as we get set here for the second period. And again, O'Dwyer wins the draw, and the Shamrocks will get their offense onto the floor. That ball swung over to the right side, and it's Fletcher. Fletcher directing traffic. He gets the ball low. That shot's taken into Peck's stick. The ball will bounce out in front. The ball will remain loose and will roll into the corner. The ball still is loose. And that battle will continue for possession, and then Dobbin will come out with it. Loses it momentarily. The ball is loose again. He tries to grab it. The ball comes out front through the 24, where the Crude Wedman had it for a second, and the Shamrocks will get the ball eventually, and the clock will reset. And that is Fletcher looking to swing the ball. He will. Gets it up top to Janasek. Janasek gets to the half wall. Gorst, the captain, looks. He swings it to the left side. Gets it back off of an off-ball cut. That ball bounces wide. I don't think he fully grabbed the ball off of that cut. Then the ball bounces up top where the Shamrocks will get a reset. And unaware of that loose ball, the ball will bounce all the way down the floor to Bjarnson, and Bjarnson will get the ball back to Janasek, who jogs back up and will set up the O. And here's Janasek. Gets the pick set. He comes up top and he shoots. That's handled by Peck with his far arm. The ball bounces into the corner, and Janasek will regain possession. Janasek, he gets the ball over to the right side, and the ball will get swung a couple times. And that pass will errantly go over past Say, and the Crude will pick it up, and that's Ducharme, who will slowly come up over center here, looking to pass the ball up to the Crude offense, and that eventually will happen. And here's the Crude offense going to work. Schaff will tuck down the wall. He looks, he gets it up top. That shot comes up in from the top shooter. That's Knowlton, who shot the ball into Bjarnson's stick, and it'll be a Crude power play here. And McLean will head to the box for a cross check. And the Crude man advantage will look to cut this down to 1 goal as the Shamrocks still hold that 3-1 lead. And here's Knowlton. And he'll get the ball low to Schaff, and that's Knowlton back up to Frey. Frey to Stenson. Stenson down low to Kerr. Back up to Stenson. Frey up top. Gets it to Knowlton. Frey to Stenson. Stenson to Kerr. Kerr on the left crease. He gets it up top to Stenson, who takes a sidearm shot harmlessly into Bjarnson's stick, and that ball will bounce out. And the Shamrocks will gather and look to hit some transition opportunities here. That ball was sent in by Kleisinger into the breaking Miller, who gets stopped by Peck. And here's Tristan Anderson for the Crude, who will look to tuck down the wall. He needs to get the ball up, back up top. That gets knocked down. It's a turnover. And that ball's gathered by the captain, Gorst, and he'll head back out as the Shamrocks look to try to kill the remaining 50 seconds of this Crude power. That's an over and back call on the Shamrocks, and the Crude will look to get a breakaway here. That shot's wide by Nolski, and Wedman will grab the loose ball and let the Crude power play come back out and try to go with one last possession here to try and cut this lead. It's 3-1 Shamrocks. That shot's taken off the ball. Off the boards. That ball's gathered in front by Stenson, who can't bury. And the Shamrocks can't connect in transition, and the Crude will have 10 seconds if they hurry here on this power play. And Searson will flip up top here to Frey as the Shamrocks will get their man back out here. We're back to even. That's a long, bad shot there. That's going to set up a breakaway by McLean. McLean in on Peck. McLean, big stop by Peck. That's a big momentum shift there. A little bit of an error there by the Crude taking that shot, but Peck's there to cover up for that mistake. Big stop there, and the Crude possession here will end with Kerr trying to go down the wall, down low underneath. And that ball was picked up by Bjarnson and sent errantly down the floor. But McLean is there to pick up the loose ball, so the Shamrocks can salvage somewhat of a possession here. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. That's Dick down low. And that's Dobbin diving down underneath with the crease dive. And he does an excellent job of running across net there on Peck and burying it on the far side. Just inside the post. And that's a 4-1 Shamrock lead. And really good work there by Dobbin to get the Peck moving across the net. He opened up the far side for himself. And the Shamrocks take a 4-1 lead here with 14:36 to go in the second period. Here's the draw, and O'Dwyer and Wedman tie up. That ball is knocked back to Kleisinger, and Kleisinger will grab that loose ball, and he'll set up the Shamrock offense. Kleisinger swings to Dobbin. Dobbin to the half wall on the left side. That ball gets swung back to the right. He's Fletcher down to Kleisinger, and he gets it back into Dobbin with a nice off-ball cut. That's stopped by Peck, who's made some big saves here. The ball will bounce to the far boards. That's picked up by the Shamrocks. That's a good loose ball, again, by Dobbin. And Fletcher will look to go one-on-one here for a bit. He thinks better of it. He rolls back up and gets it to Janasek. Janasek got it back inside. The ball eventually finds Dick on another cut from the left side. The Shamrocks have been doing that continuously, off-ball cuts from the left side. And Dick does a great job of rolling inside there, stopping up, and again, running across the net and opening up that far side. It's 5-1 Shamrocks with 13:50 to go in the second period. This is another key here. The Crude have to find a way to start getting some loose balls off draws. They had a chance at that one, but O'Dwyer comes up with it. And he gets it down the floor to McLean, who will patiently wait for the Shamrock offense to hit the floor. And McLean gets a pick there on that right side. He gets the ball up to Dobbin, who gets it back to McLean, and McLean will fire it down low. And the Shamrocks offense can't connect there. The ball will get sent back up floor as they try to hit a breaking Wedman. And the Crude unable to get a transition opportunity there. Bjarnson, the Shamrock netminder, will send the ball back up floor. Now it was Chase Miller with the ball in transition. Oliver Miller, sorry. With the ball in transition there for the Shamrocks. The Shamrocks will look to get their O. And Janasek up top. And that shot by Miller hit a Crude stick, and the ball bounces harmlessly into the corner, and it'll be Crude possession as the shot clock expires. 12:34 to go here in the second period. Shots 21-14 Shamrocks, and more importantly, score 5-1 Shamrocks. And that's Kerr, who goes and walks into a double, and that's executed by the Shamrocks. They turn it over, and Gorse here goes on a 2-on-1. He looks and tries to hit a breaking Dick, who just had to slow down a bit too much there. Maybe waited a little bit too long there on that pass. Doesn't connect. And the Crude Drader will come up the floor here. He tries to push in transition. He goes inside. And he walks through a check by the Shamrocks and goes 5-hole on Bjarnson, who overcommitted to that. It looked like he thought that Drader was going to try and go far side, overcommitted to the shot, and Drader just shot the ball through his legs there in transition. Probably one that the Shamrocks would want back on a couple of counts, but hey, it's a big goal. 5-2 here now. The Crude cut the lead down to 3. 12:02 to go in the second period. And here's O'Dwyer again off the draw. Gets it to Kleisinger, who will push in transition. And a great stop by Peck on the cross-floor pass. That was Fletcher in his office. You've seen already in this game him down there with those quick sticks a few times. Scored the first goal down there. And Peck got across there with a great show of athleticism. And here is Fletcher up top here on the right shooter. Gets the ball swung. He gets it back on the right shooter. He goes underneath. And he tucks inside, and Peck makes a good stop on the short side. Here's Searson for the Crude. And he flips to Frey. Frey on the wrong side of the floor here will look to get the ball over. He does just that. Gets the ball up to Knowlton. Knowlton had swung it down to Stenson, who swung it back over to the right side. That goes errantly over to the glass. The ball ends up getting shot by Frey into Bjarnson's stick, where the ball is sent to Miller, who can't hold on to it. The ball will go loose and is picked up by the Shamrocks, and McLean again patiently on the right side. He goes give and go with Janicic. McLean on the half wall will swing it over to Dick. He mishandles it. He'll have to go collect. That ball gets sent into Janicic. He takes a shot. A lot of shots 5-hole here tonight. I got to think both of these teams are going to want to start shooting to the sides of the net here on these netminders. And the Crude will gather the ball. Ducharme will head up floor, and he gets the ball. Down low to Slobnik. Slobnik waits, rolls back up, gets it to Frey, who gets it up top to Kerr. The big lefty will take a shot. That's handled by Bjarnson. The ball bounces back out. And here's a Shamrock breakaway. And that ball gets sent wide by Captain Gorst. And the Crude will gather and come back up floor. Here's a 3-on-2 for the Crude. The ball doesn't connect inside. And here's Kerr to Stenson. Stenson again tries to go 5-hole. Bjarnson gathers that up. And here's O'Dwyer in transition. O'Dwyer. That shot's taken by Kleisinger. Another 5-hole shot. A lot of stick shots again. That theme continues here in the Crude. Up in transition. They try to hit Harris off the bench. That doesn't work. And then Schaff, I believe. Yeah, it was Schaff who picks up the loose ball. He can't connect. He goes wide, but then there's a delayed call here, and that call will be made on the Crude. Looks like a cross check. Two-minute cross-check to Harris of the Crude, and the Shamrock power play will reconvene here. 5-2, they lead. 9:02 to go in the second period. Here's Dobbin to Janicic. Janicic down to Fletcher. Fletcher back up to Janicic. Dobbin up top. Miller down to, can't see his number, sorry. That's Janicic. Dobbin. Fletcher, Janicic. Janicic line, that goes wide. Initially they say it's Initially they say it's Crude ball, but eventually they will give it. Initially say it's Shamrock ball, they'll give it to the Crude. Crude in transition, that shot goes wide. Drader missing the mark. And the Shamrocks will grab the ball and set back up on the power play. That's Kleisinger, he'll flip to Janasek. Janasek will get it to Miller. Miller down to Say. Miller back up top to Janasek. Fletcher. Janasek. Janasek. Down low to Say. Say inside to Fletcher. Another off-ball cut, this time from the right side. And they do a good job of slipping that guy inside. Fletcher doesn't make any mistake off of that cut, and he goes far side again on Peck. It is 6-2 Shamrocks with 7:59 to go in the second period. Now, if you're watching this game at home, there's really been, I would say, two keys to this game so far. Face-offs in favor of the Shamrocks, and their off-ball cutting. They've gotten a number of looks and eventual goals. Not just goals, but opportunities off of their off-ball looks. Their off-ball cut game on the right, especially off the left side, but you just saw it on the right side. And they've capitalized, and then those are the biggest reasons, I would say, why they sit with this 6-2 lead right now. The Shamrock offense will go back to work here. And here's Kleisinger on the right side. He goes inside. That shot's taken by a cutting Dick. That ball's handled by Peck. The ball will bounce back out to the boards, where it's picked back up by Kleisinger. He gets it to Fletcher on the right side. Fletcher up top. Goes to Dobbin. Dobbin to Miller. Miller to... That ball ends up getting sent in. Oh! A nasty check is thrown there inside. That looked like definitely an illegal cross check. We'll see what kind of severity they deem it to be. Anybody who's played the game knows those cross checks down low on the hips and on the legs obviously are really tough to handle. As an old guy, you hate those. They're really tough to deal with. They hurt. They leave a mark, just to say that. And they will give a 5-minute penalty for that. The right call there. And the Shamrocks will look to try to extend this lead and try to get out in front of this game. They lead this one 6-2 with 7:02 to go in the second period. It's Janasek. He would go to Fletcher, who tried to get the ball low. That ball errantly went into the boards, and here's Ducharme over center on the man short. There's going to be a double here set by the Shamrocks. At least they're going to attempt it. Here it comes. Ducharme is in trouble in the corner. The ball goes loose. He does a good job of keeping it loose. At least momentarily, the ball will go loose onto the far side, where it gets picked up by the Shamrocks. McLean, and the power play will set up. Here's Dobbin up top. He gets the ball over to Miller. Miller down low to Dick. Dobbin, Janasek, back up. That ball swung to Miller. Big stop by Peck on the far side. And the Crude will throw that one away. Janasek picks that off at center. Sort of laying in the weeds like a safety there. And he picks that off nicely. And the Shamrock power play will set back up with 3:50 still to go on the man advantage. Here's Dobbin up top. Janasek winds and fires. That goes wide. And the shot clock winds down here. Got about 5 seconds remaining. Shamrocks will end up just rolling this ball down the floor. And that dangerously almost caught Peck off guard. Sailing just over the net. Oh. And the ball is sent wildly into the Crude bench. Head coach Schmerman had to duck out of the way there. The ball gets sent quickly in transition. When that ball will bounce off the floor up into the mesh. Into channel is 5Cs from Here's the Crude offense. Ball's going to bounce and continue to bounce. The Shamrocks will pick it up. Then McLean will head back over center, and he'll stop up and wait for the Shamrock offense to hit the floor. Yeah, Schmerman had to practice his 5 C's from dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dive, dip. Can't remember the 5th one. But he showed some good agility there getting out of the way. Here are the Shamrocks. Ball bounces up top. And a big save there by Peck off of a bit of a broken play. The ball bounced out in front. And Peck with a big save to hold the Crude in this game right now. It's 6-2 with 4 minutes to go in the second period. And 2 minutes remaining on the man short. That was Kerr getting inside. He takes a shot. That's handled by the Shamrock goalie. Ball will bounce to the boards. It's picked up, and the Shamrocks will collect. Here's Kleisinger. Kleisinger will head it and get it up to Janicek. Janicek down to Fletcher. Janicek, Dobbin. Miller, Dick, Miller. There's that skip pass from shooter to crease. It doesn't connect this time. Ball bounces to center. Another shot clock violation. Shamrock power play struggling a little bit here. They haven't really got a quality shot here in a while. They'll look to try and take advantage, I'm sure, of what looks to be one more possession here with 1 minute remaining on the power play and 3 to go in the period. Here's the ball. Here's a breakaway for Gorst. Gorst in. He tries to go short side, and it just sneaks by Peck. As Gorst went from sidearm, it looked like he was going to push that ball sidearm, far side. Brought his stick back up to go short side and was just successful as that ball snuck inside that near post. And it's 7-2 Shamrocks with 2:53 to go in the second period. The middle of the floor starting to be a problem here for the Crude. A turnover, the Shamrocks take advantage. Can the Crude get this face-off? It's big for them. We talked about it. Can they get this loose ball? Unfortunately, they're going to knock the ball out on the loose ball over through the Shamrock bench, and it will be Calgary ball. Here's Dobbin. Janicek, Fletcher. Janicek, Dobbin, Miller. And Dick, Miller, Dobbin. He'll seal. That shot, a beautiful shot by Miller. He steps into that far side, top. Tough for Peck to read that as he sort of changed his release point and did a great job of tucking that inside the far post up high, and it is 8-2 Shamrocks. So what looked to be a tough power play for the Shamrocks, the Crew doing a good job of hanging on there, weren't quite able to escape, and the Shamrocks end up getting 2 goals. They'll go back to 5-on-5, but the remainder of the penalty will be served. 24 seconds to go here. 2:25 to go in the period. 8-2 Shamrocks lead. We'll see here if the Crude can crawl their way back into this. But again, they're going to need to start gaining those extra possessions. They can't lose all these face-offs. They can't be turning the ball over. They got to start playing clean lacrosse. Any coach will tell you, right, those extra possessions, they add up, and the Crude try to find those extra possessions and try to spend more time with the ball. Again, the Shamrocks pick it up off the draw. Kleisinger goes over to Dobbin, and Dobbin gets it to that far left wall. And there's a delayed penalty call, and off of that, the ball gets sent over to Fletcher. He takes a nice sidearm shot, stick side, short side, and he is able to score, making it 9-2 Shamrocks. And that's always a tough one to handle for goaltenders, is when that shooter can pull that ball back short side inside the post. A lot of times goaltenders are assuming that guy is going to try and go far side. They see his stick out on that angle. They think the ball is going to travel to that far side, and if that guy's able to pull that ball back inside, it's tough for them to react to. Off the face-off again, the Shamrocks head up north, and then they'll settle here with Fletcher signaling to his teammates to settle it down. He'll hold as the teams head back to 5-on-5 here. Shamrocks, there's Kleisinger. Kleisinger will swing the ball over to the left side, sorry. The ball gets over back to the left side, and then that shot that was taken by Frey with the shot. That's handled by Bjarnson. Ball sent back up. There's a breakaway from McLean. McLean is stopped by Peck. Goaltending situation. Nice big stop there by Peck in transition. And here's Kerr over the blue line. Kerr will duck inside. That shot is stopped by Bjarnson. And the Shamrocks will come back up on O. That's Moen. Gets the ball back up to his offense. That pass isn't handled by Janicek, but he does a good job of knocking that ball back down to himself. He swings the ball over to Miller. Miller stopped by Peck. And nice pass in transition up to Wedman. Wedman winds and fires wide. Then it's picked back up by Knowlton. Knowlton thinks about shooting. He rolls back out to the half wall. He gets doubled. He does a good job of getting the ball back up top to Schaff. Schaff in trouble. And then Harris knocks his defender down. They're likely going to call him for interference. And the period will likely wind down here. And the Shamrocks can't quite connect on their one final push there. And we end the second period of play with the score. Calgary Shamrocks 9, the St. Albert Crude 2. Shots 33-20 for the Calgary Shamrocks as we head to the third here in St. Albert. And we will be back with you in just roughly 10 minutes' time. Welcome back into the Jerome McGinley Arena here in St. Albert for Junior B RMLL Tier 1 action between the Crude and the Shamrocks. The Shamrocks currently lead 9-2. The shots 33-20 for the Shamrocks. And off the draw, that's going to be picked up by Kleisinger. And Kleisinger will run right through the change box of the Crude bench and stop up there in the corner. He takes a check from Nolski. The ball will go loose. They battle, and Nolski will bat the ball out, and it'll be Shamrock ball. Initially, they pointed the wrong way, but they do get it right, and it'll be Calgary ball. And here's Janicek. He gets the ball to Kleisinger. Excuse me, that is not Kleisinger. That was Wilson. Here's Miller. That ball does not connect. And here is Wedman. Wedman will cradle one-handed out into the Shamrock zone. And he'll roll back and get the ball up to Knowlton. Knowlton mishandles that for a second, but he grabs it. That pick gets set, and he tries to go inside to Kerr. That doesn't connect. And then the ball gets thrown back out over to Schaff. That doesn't connect either. And the ball will get sent back up floor. And that is Miller with the ball. We got another cross check here. This time it's going to be a Shamrock. We've seen a few of these cross checks called by guys going out the O gate. It's not all that often you see penalties called on guys while in the offensive zone, but they do happen, and they've happened here quite a bit here tonight. And the Cruder need to go on a run here real quick here with 18:45 here to go in the third. 9-2 they trail. They're probably going to have to go on a 4-goal run here pretty quickly to try and get back in this game. And here's Slobnik on the right shooter. He gets it up top to Knowlton. Knowlton looks to fake that shot. He tried to go back to Slobnik, and the pass doesn't connect. And the ball will go loose. And worried about the 10-second count, the Shamrocks just flipped that ball down into the Crude end where it was picked up by Regan Walker. And he gets it back up to Knowlton, and the Crude will reconnect on their power play. And Frey up top, and he gets it over to Stenson. Stenson gets it to Frey. Frey, Knowlton. Knowlton down low. Frey up top. That ball is shot, bounced into the crest of Bjarnson, who gets it up to Gorst, and the captain will head back up floor. And Gorst steps over to the boards. He hops back up top. And he gets the ball up high to Dobbin. Dobbin, he waits. Dobbin, he handles a couple checks there. And he goes down, tries to go down the wall, where he's met with a stiff check by Frey, who's doing some good solid work at both ends of the floor here. They get the turnover there, and the Crude will set up on the power, and the shot is taken by Knowlton. Off of the feed from Frey. Another one of those pull shots, short side, sidearm. Knowlton gets the Crude back on the board. It's 9-3 Shamrocks with 17:10 to go here in the third period. Very good work there by Frey, who creates the turnover, gets the ball back up the floor, and then eventually gets the ball over to Knowlton on the right shooter, and he buries. Been very impressed with Knowlton here this weekend. And we talked about, I know on our preview show, when we previewed the North, we talked about the Crude and their offense and needing guys to step up, and he's really stepped up so far this year for the Crude, and he's shown well, and he gets them back on the board here. Crude get another possession. They finally get a possession here off of a draw, and the ball is stopped there off of a tuck inside underneath by Kerr. Bjarnson handles that, and the Shamrocks head up floor. There's Miller, Oliver Miller. He waits, joined by, try to wait for his mates to join him. He eventually gets the ball over, and Janisic has it. Janisic on the right side. That ball is stripped and is picked up by Richardson. Richardson spins back. His pass gets knocked down. The ball goes into the Shamrock crease where it will be picked up, and the ball will head back up with McLean. McLean gets it to Dick. Dick. He tries to get it over to the half wall on the right side, but that's a nice stick there. I think it was by Ducharme. And they'll just have to flip the ball down the floor. And the Crude will start back up. Here's Frey. Frey hops down the wall. The ball goes down into the corner and is picked up eventually by Knowlton. Knowlton over to Kerr. He winds and fires. And Bjornsson stops that. And then Kerr gets the ball back off of a turnover. Some sloppy play there by the Shamrocks as Coach Crook and the Shamrock staff take note there, as they usually do on the bench. And the Crude have cut this one down, 9-4, with 15-16 to go in the third period. And that's something that we haven't really seen the Shamrocks do much of in this game, and certainly not in previous years. Pretty buttoned up team. Turnover there. And it's 9-4. And here are the Shamrocks back. No, Dwyer looks to flip over cross floor to Dobbin. Dobbin gets the ball over to Miller. Miller waits. He wants a pick. The pick's not coming, so he'll go up top to Say. Back over to Miller. Miller. It's Janisic. Janisic gets it over to the half wall on the right side. Ball's brought up. Big shot. Winding shot taken by Anderson will go wide. And the shot clock will expire, and it'll be Crude ball. Here's Anderson. And Anderson will flip to Frey. And we've seen Frey with the ball here a lot tonight. He's going to wait for a pick, but it doesn't quite get there. And he will go down the wall here, and he looks, he's trying, he's looking, he's surveying, he wants to feed. Nothing there, so he sends it in on Bjornsson from well out. And again, a turnover. Bjornsson throws it away, and the Crude aren't able to capitalize and throw it off the floor. And this should not be Crude ball, but it's going to be, as Crook has his hands on his head on the Shamrock bench. Nonetheless, it's Crude ball. And here's Stenson. Stenson tries to go inside to Kerr. Kerr gets the ball eventually, and Bjornsson stonewalls him, and then the ball is picked up on the half wall by Knowlton. Knowlton gets it over to the left side. That was Zaxton Blake. And eventually it's the shot clock. They're going to call a moving pick here, and it's going to be Shamrock ball. Here's Dick. Dick inside. He tried to hit a cutting Janisic. That does not quite get there. And it'll be the Crude. I think they called the Shamrocks for going through the crease, and it'll be Anderson who gets it to Wedman. And Wedman will get it to Harris, and Harris will start back up. Here's Zaxton Blake. Used to playing out the back gate, but it's getting some time with the need for some offense here. Trying to find some new fresh bodies here for the Crude out the front gate. That ball will turn over, and the Shamrocks will try to go up in transition, but that's thrown away. Some sloppy play here right now. Each team turning it over a few times. Drader will start back up. And the Crude offense will hit the floor once again. Here's the shooter, Knowlton. Knowlton on the right side. He gets it to Schaff, who tucks underneath his defender. I think he beat McLean there. A little toe drag there on the right side. Good stop there by Bjarnson, and the Crude will get the ball back. Here's Frey over to Kerr. Kerr pulls his defender down and is able to sort of step back and shoot far side. I think that was Miller. Bit of a size mismatch, and he's able to go far side. 9-5, Shamrocks.
Get your Crude cash tickets at the admission desk. How it works, $30 for a ticket. You're in for every draw, for every home game of Tier 1 and Tier 2. You can win $300 or $30. $30 is a good investment. Thank you.
And there's a draw for the Crude as they're able to gather here. And Knowlton will jog up the right boards. And here's Kerr again. Kerr, he wanted to throw that across the floor there to a couple of cutting righties. That fell out of his stick, and then Knowlton gathers the loose ball, fires it at Bjarnson. That goes off of his shin pad up and out, and the Crude will regain possession. Here's Kerr. And the big lefty with the wind up and far side low again. Same place he just beat Bjarnson. And that 4-goal run is funny because I said they're going to need about a 4-goal run to get back in this game. Well, the Crude have done just that as they've clawed their way back into this, going from 9-2 to 9-6 here in this third period. And they still have an 11-19 amount to try to gain back, to get their way back into this game. And not a surprise, the Shamrocks call a timeout here. Try to regather themselves. You can see the message just by head coach Crook's body language. Gather yourself, you're still up 3. That's got to be the message here. We've had some bad turnovers. We've had some disjointed play. This isn't really about X's and O's. These types of timeouts are never about X's and O's. This is just about a mental state they're going to try and regather here. And the Crude, on the other hand, will try to keep their momentum as they've gone on a 4-goal run here and reduce the deficit to 3 with 11:19 to go in the third period. Shamrocks 9, Crude 6. And off the draw, Dobbin goes in hard into the boards. He's got the ball trapped against the boards. It looks like they're going to give it to the Crude. And here's Frey. The head of somebody's stick lies on the floor, which they'll eventually pick up, I'm sure. Yes, referee Wes Kendall does just that. And here's Frey on the right side. He looks inside. Knowlton with a nice slip pick. And he's met there by Bjarnson, who stops that. And some nice work here done by Kleisinger to navigate his way into the Crude zone. And he loses the ball there, and there's going to be a battle for it on the far boards. He's going to try. He momentarily grabbed it again as he was on the ground. The ball's going to bounce out all the way to center, and Oliver Miller grabs that. And he's going to swing it over to the right side. It's Janasek. Janasek gets that ball over to Anderson, and Janasek gets it back. Gets it over to Dick. Dick back to Janasek. Janasek gets a pick set for him by Anderson. A little bit of a seal. And he tries to come up over top of that. Big stop there by Peck. Seen a lot of stops tonight on the 5-hole. A lot of stick stops. And that ball just slowly bounces to Ducharme, and he's going to have to deal with a couple of Shamrock defenders. And he rolls out of that, up the floor. Doubled. And that's Harris. The ball was going to end up with Harris back on the right side boards, but that possession really didn't gain any traction, and they were unable to really set up, and that's going to end up in a shot clock expiration. It'll be Calgary ball. 9:24 to go here in the third period. 9-6, Shamrocks lead the Crude. 1-2 Shamrocks, 1-2 Crude. Each team looking to get to 500 here tonight. Early season. These games, a lot of the time, people talk about them not mattering as much. They really do, though. At the end of the season, they add up and they matter in the standings just as much as games in late June or mid and early June. The Shamrocks are going to get a reset here. And there's Miller. He'll stop up. You got a delayed call here coming against the Crude. And the Shamrocks power play will... And another unforced bad pass here, and they're going to end up blowing this dead back over the restraining line. And it's going to be another. It looks like another cross check. We'll see for the official call here. I think I saw a signal of the cross check. Oh, too many. Too many men on the Crude. And it'll be served, it looks like, by Slobnik for the Crude. Key moment here. If the Shamrocks get one here, it's probably curtains, but if the Crude can kill this off, they're still in the game. Here's Janasek. Janasek skips that down low to the far crease. Skips it back down low. Fletcher to Janasek. That's Anderson. Oh, on a bit of a severe angle, he comes back from that crease up to the shooter and fires it far side low on Peck. Probably one he'll want to have back, and it's 10-6 Shamrocks. Just a bit of a tough angle there. Usually the shooter will want to try and step up into the middle of the floor, and a bit of a severe angle, and I don't know, it looked like he shot it around a bit of a screen. Quick release, it caught Peck by surprise, I think, and it's 10-6 Shamrocks. It's a tough one for the Crude. Here's Slobnik. And he gets it to Kerr, and Kerr will use his patented bit of a bull rush. He tried to spin back. That shot went wide, and now it's a breakaway. That's safe for the Shamrocks, who reaches around Peck, far side. It almost kind of looked like it went through the body slightly. Nonetheless, that goes far side, and it's 11-6 Shamrocks with 7:42. Again, that power play goal was a little bit of a that was a little bit of a tough one, and I think the Shamrocks have seized the momentum back here a little bit, and we'll see if the Crude can fight back with 7:42 to go. And off the draw, that's the Shamrocks collecting. And Moen will grab the loose ball and get it to Kleisinger, and Kleisinger will send it over to Janasek. Shamrock offense will come off the bench. Janasek with the ball. He'll survey. And that shot is sent in over from the left side by Penny. And the Shamrocks will get a reset. And Calgary with the ball. That's swung over to Penny. Penny back quickly over to Anderson. Anderson gets a pick there by Janasek, but he elects to send that back up top. And that shot was taken by number 12, Wilson. Sorry, Inglis. And eventually that ball will go astray, and then Wedman will send it to Schaff. Schaff over to Knowlton. Knowlton back over to Schaff. He was able to sort of sneak in behind the Shamrock defense for an opportunity. Wasn't able to hit the net, and the ball will go into the corner and be Shamrock ball. Here's Miller. Out of the corner, Anderson dances. He shoots, Peck handles that, and the big Captain McBride sends that up to Richardson, who's going to have to battle two Shamrocks, and the ball will go out to O'Dwyer, who is met there by Kerr, pressed a little bit, but he's able to get around that and get it up to Zoe, where the Shamrocks say will stop up on the left boards. His pass to Inglis has to be collected again. He regathers, he shoots. That's stopped by Peck. The ball bounces into the corner off of a Shamrock, and it'll be Crude ball. 5:20 to go. Third period, Shamrocks lead the Crude 11-6 here from the Jerome McGinley Arena in St. Albert. That ball's stopped by Bjarnson. Shamrocks will get the loose ball, and that is McLean. Slowly back up for the Shamrocks. He flips to Dick, and that pick is going to be set by Miller. Miller is going to look to maybe set another pick. That ball swung over to Fletcher. The two lefties cut off ball. Ball swung back over to Dick. Dick rolls off his check. Another check comes. That's Anderson. Steps back up on Dick. Then the shot's taken, and then there's going to be another call here. It looks like on the Crude. It's going to be Searson. Another cross-check. I think about 50-60% of the penalties in this game have been cross-checks. It's been a common theme tonight. And the Shamrock power play will set up. That's Dobbin. And Miller down to Dick. Back up to Dobbin. Dobbin, Janicek. Dobbin. Skips it down to Fletcher. Dobbin. That shot. That shot goes off of a Crude bucket, and so it'll be Shamrock ball as it goes up and out of play. Miller, Dobbin. Miller takes that shot. That goes wide. And Miller skips it over to Fletcher, who comes up top to the shooter on the right side. He takes that sub shot, far side, around Peck, and it's 12-6 Shamrocks with 3:56 to go in the third period. And we were just notified for the miscommunication. It was Peck that was pulled after the second period. So it's been Horn in for the third period for the Crude. Here the Shamrocks are with the ball. Half wall on the right side. Anderson hops down the side. Up top to Dick. Dick shoots, and he goes far side on Horn. It's 3:30 to go. It's 13-6 Calgary. And O'Dwyer with another draw. We've seen him win so many draws here tonight. The ball is sent back up to stay on the Shamrock side of things, and he's just going to wait for the rest of the Shamrock offense to get onto the floor. Here's Say. He'll slow play it. Gets it up top to Miller. Or Miller to Fletcher. Fletcher up top. Miller shoots that. That squeaks through Horn. The ball will roll just outside of the far post. And Wedman will look to push the ball here. He's going to look to shoot. And he scores in transition. Far side low. Just like the last couple of goals we've seen the other way. It's 13-7. The Crude trail the Shamrocks. So with 2:52 to go here, the Crude down 6. They may start to pull their goalie here and go 6-on-5. At the same time, this one's probably out of reach, so it wouldn't shock me to see them opt not to, but it is a possibility to see them try it. We'll see which way they elect to go here. And Shamrocks again with the draw. O'Dwyer with the win again. He was able to get that over to Moen. Moen back to Dwyer, and then O'Dwyer will eventually get that over to Dick. Dick with the ball onto the left shooter. He gets it up top to Fletcher. Fletcher to the right half wall, and Anderson dances. He shoots far side with a sub shot. That's handled by Horn. Horn scoops that loose ball up off the rebound, and Wedman, who just deposited one for the Crude, will get the ball over to Slobnik off the bench. Slobnik will run down the far boards and come around the net. He'll get it over to Frey. Frey gets a pick there, and Knowlton slips off of that nicely. He rolls to the net, but that pass doesn't connect. And the ball will bounce into the far corner where Knowlton will pick it up. And they're not able to connect on the pass, and it's going to be a shot clock violation as the ball will sit in the corner, and it looks like a Shamrock player is down, and the trainer will tend to him as we pause here with 1:48 to go, and the Shamrocks up 13-7 on the Crude. Didn't quite see what happened. It's kind of in the corner that's buried from where we broadcast from. Does look like some type of lower body issue. That's the captain, Gorst, I believe. As he will be helped off the floor. Obviously, you never want to see anything like that, and he's been a key player for the Shamrocks really all game, getting the ball up the floor. Very good in transition. We'll see if, obviously, with 1:48 and up 6, next to no chance he returns, but hopefully moving forward, he's all right. As we will get set for the draw here with 1:48 to go, 13-7 Shamrocks. And O'Dwyer with the ball again off the face-off, and they will set back up. That's Moen, gets it over to Say. Say gets it to Dobbin. Dobbin up top, over onto the far wall where Anderson will jog up and swing it over to Miller. Miller over. He gets it back and he shoots the ball. And then Say will pick that loose ball up and get it back over to the righties. The righties, that is Anderson. Anderson collects, he gathers, he looks, he shoots. And Horn with the save. And another loose ball by Say and the Shamrocks. And guaranteed they'll just basically wind this one down. They'll sit on this ball. Doubt they'll really push for much of a shot here. Well, they do. Usually they would sit on that. Elected to take a shot there, and now another Crude penalty here with the game all but done. Looks like another cross check. High stick. Everybody's making the cross-checking signal. I think I'm just used to it. It's been so many cross-checking penalties tonight. And now, I don't know why the Shamrocks would shoot. We'll see. With 35 seconds remaining, it's 13-7 Calgary. And Dobbins going to shoot, and he's going to score. 14-7 Shamrocks here with 20 seconds to go from the Jerome McGinley Arena here in St. Albert. The Crude are able to win the draw, and Schaff will get the ball there. Try to send it up to Knowlton. Knowlton, that ball gets knocked down. Not able to connect on it. And then the ball does come out to Kerr, who gets stopped by Bjarnson, and the game clock will wind down. And the Shamrocks will leave St. Albert with a 14-7 win. Final score from St. Albert, it is the Calgary Shamrocks 14, the St. Albert Crude 7. The Shamrocks will go to 2-2, while the Crude will drop to 1-3 here early season. For my technical producer Colton and from me, Mohammed, I want to thank you for joining us here tonight from Jerome McGinley Arena. Thanks for everything, and we'll see you again soon.